How to make a bow drill fire by The Survival Garage. This is going to be an overview video where I try to show you just the basics of the bow drill fire. All the other videos that I've got, and you're more than welcome to look them up, show how to make the components. The components of a bow drill fire are 5. The bow, the hearth, the top bearing or top rock, the spindle, and the piece that catches the coal when you're making the fire. Now, I'm showing you here one version of it, but the reality is that these come in all shapes and sizes. Here are many that I have made over time. You can see that the top one is a fairly stout stick. The stick isn't even really straight. What you'll find is some slight bends you can work through. The second one down is made out of a single branch. I used one small branch and made every component for the bow drill fire, including the top rock and the handle, which isn't shown here. A bent stick, the third one down, and then a very wide hearth made out of the trunk of a tree, shown on the bottom. Now, what's really important here when you're first making your bow drill fire is loading the spindle into the bow. When doing so, make sure that you get the spindle on the outside of the string. Now I'm going to show you a 4-step method on how to do that one, and how I do it, and I do it very quickly. Take your spindle, loop it underneath from the bottom, and loop around the bow string. Then pull it tight. And what you're going to want to do then is to twist that string around the spindle, forcing it to grab hold. Now what you'll have at that point, what I have when I'm doing it, is the spindle pointing to me wrong way up. And as you can see, the spindle is on the inside between the string and the bow. This is not actually what you want. So what I do is I then flip that over really quickly, and over time I've gotten really good at that. And I end up with the spindle on the outside of the string pointing down. This is the way you want it. You want that spindle away from the bow. The bow is off screen to the right. You want the spindle away from the bow, so that it doesn't rub or knock against the bow. Now the correct form that you need to use, or that the people that taught me how to do it use, looks something like this. You want to be hunched over. You can actually do it standing on something like a picnic bench or something, but I would like you to practice on the ground, since that's what you might have to depend on in the wilderness. You're knelt down. I'm right-handed, so in this picture is backwards, but I'm right-handed, so my right knee is back. It can be even further back for a little bit easier of a stroke. And if you notice here, and I'm going to zoom in, the left hand is wrapped around the shin pushed against the wrist of the left hand, which is holding the top rock down. That locks in that spindle hand from moving too much. And then the left foot is standing on the hearth. That's the proper form, and I want to show you this a couple of different ways. Here's a close-up. Again, left hand over the top, locked in by the shin, left foot standing on the hearth. The hearth, it has the catch underneath that's going to catch that coal, and the right hand has the right knee out of the way and ready for a long power stroke on making these fires. Again, here's me actually in the process. You're going to see things a little bit blurry there. I'm at the front end of that stroke. And you want to use the whole length of the bow. It's like your dad taught you when you're using a saw. Use the whole length of the saw. Let the saw do the work. Let the bow do the work here. Back and forth fairly quickly using the full length. You're getting a mechanical advantage by using a bow, so you might as well use that mechanical advantage. Here's a side view of what that looks like. Now, when you end up doing this stroke, what you're going to end up with is a coal. Now, as I zoom in here, this is the V that you cut, and again in the other video, this is the V that you cut. Coal will start to form in there and gather dust. Now what you need is enough dust to pile up in that V to get towards the top where the spindle is moving. So the 2-step process that you're going to use to make this fire, and these are important. Once I figured these 2 steps out, it became a lot easier for me. The 2-step process you're going to do is quite a bit of pressure downward. You want to start making good black dust. You don't want it too thick and too chunky. You want it just dust, black dust. Brown dust is not enough pressure, not enough speed. Black dust is good. Black curls and chunks is bad, too much pressure. But black dust is exactly what you want. Get that downward pressure going and creating a good amount of coal. Once you see enough coal in the V, back off of the pressure on your handhold a little bit and just go for speed. And what I advise is simply going for broke. Going as fast as you possibly can in order to generate as much speed. Again, what you need is about 700 degrees Fahrenheit in order to make that dust combust. So go as fast as you can for as long as you can under control. Once you can't go any longer and you've seen a good amount of smoke there and you've gone as fast as you can, stop under control, pull the spindle out, again, under control. You don't want anything flying or any of the coals flying. Use that spindle to give a slight tap as you're moving the hearth out of the way. And then what you're going to end up is, as you see here, is a good coal. If you see smoke, and that smoke lasts for 3, 4, 5 seconds, you've got a very good coal, and this is likely something that's going to make a fire. Let that coal grow. Just let it sit there. Some people fan their hand over the top of it, is what I do as well. Fan your hand over the top of it for 2, 3, 4 seconds at a time, getting a good smoke rolling out of that pile. The more coal, the more dust you've got there, the more it can grow. I give that 10, 15, 20 seconds sometimes to grow. Just get it burning real well, real hot, and it's transferring around. Now what you're going to want to do is transfer that to a tinder bundle. What I'm using here is some pine boughs, some dried grass, some dried leaves, pine needles, stuff like that. That's all stuffed into the middle. You're going to want to press down the middle of that down and make kind of a bowl, kind of a tinder nest or a tinder bundle. Then you're going to want to carefully dump that coal in there, and then you're going to want to pinch that coal within the tinder bundle and start to raise it up in front of your face. You don't want the coal to fall, but you're going to want to raise that up in front of your faces, and then you're going to want to slowly blow into it. You've got to be gentle here, and experience goes a long way. As you can see here in the picture, I'm blowing in it very carefully, a stream, like I'm whistling, but not very powerful. Once you see that cherry start to glow, that coal, push through it, blow through the tinder bundle. You want that air to go through the tinder bundle, and you want that coal to spread through from the closer to your mouth all the way through to the back side of that tinder bundle. Now, as you're going to do that, you can raise that up a little bit. Kind of raise that tinder bundle up. Keep blowing very carefully, a little bit more pressure as you can, and what you should get is that tinder bundle to combust. Now, as it combusts and gets up in the air, keep going until you down here can't take it anymore. Then set it down underneath a good tinder pile, a TP or something else like that that's ready to go for your fire. That really is all there is to making a bow drill fire. With that said, it's going to take you a lot of practice. Take your time. Be patient. Go back. Give it 2 or 3 attempts and take a good break. Don't get frustrated with it. It is completely normal for that spindle to fly across your garage or across your yard for the first 5, 10, 15, 20 times you do it. Just keep on roughing up the tip of that spindle. Make sure that your components are made properly and are staying made properly. Make sure your form is good, and just keep on trying. It took me about 8 hours of trying with red cedar, which isn't the best. White cedar would have been better, but it took me about 8 hours of trying without the best components to get a good coal. I think you can get it in less time with following all the videos and taking your time and making sure your form is proper. I hope you get a coal. I hope you get a fire. It's one of the greatest feelings I've had, and it absolutely increased the confidence that I had in the wilderness. Thanks for watching this bow drill series by The Survival Garage.